everybody. Welcome back to This Is It podcast. My name is Devin. I'm here with Brad, and today we have somebody very special in the studio. Give it up for Rob Felicetti from Bowling for Soup.
Hi.
How you doing, brother?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you, man.
20 feet away.
I know, yeah, it wasn't that far of a walk.
Try to keep it convenient for you guys.
That's perfect.
Hey, man, but appreciate you coming through and sitting down with us and talking to us. So, Rob, everyone knows you. You're the bass guitarist for Bowling for Soup. But for this interview, we're going to get a little bit more insight about you. Bowling for Soup is a pretty established group. It's been around for a little bit of time. I'm sure you're aware of their history.
25 years.
25
this
years.
Year, yeah.
It's older than me. Damn.
Yeah, me too. That's sad.
Millennial stuff. But but we're going to get into like how you got started in music in general and then kind of jump into like how you got started with the fellas over in Bowling for Soup.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so just to start things off, just want to know how old are you and where are you from?
Well, I was born in New York City, then I moved to Pennsylvania in the Poconos.
Okay.
So that's where I live. The other dudes all live in Dallas, so I'm the only one that doesn't live like in the
Dallas
area. Yeah, so it's kind of nice because I love where I live. I love the Poconos, and I think it's a great place. I have no intention of moving. I just bought a house.
Oh, solid.
So,
nice.
Hey,
congrats.
Congrats.
Thanks, man. And it gets a little much with traveling and all, but we all travel all the time anyway. And we never practice, so it's just all this meeting when we're going. Everyone's traveling to get there anyway, so it's a good setup. I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, what was life pretty much growing up like for you? How'd you like get into the music? Like, what inspired you?
Yeah, well, so like my parents always listened to music when we were driving and stuff, and we always listened to like the Eagles and like Eric Clapton. Like I grew up on like all the classic rock stuff, and really, me and my brother, when we were like stupid teenagers, we were like, hey, let's just start a band with our buddy Ian, who actually is our guitar tech for this band. He was like, that's all come full circle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the three of us were just like dumb kids and just went for it. We like started like doing like little tiny tours when we were like still in high school. Yeah, and we were just kind of went for it. And then I went to college. I went to Penn State, and when I was there, me and my buddy from back home decided to start another band. It was kind of like a punk rock band, and we were doing a lot of touring with this band called Patent Pending.
Okay.
Who we both ended up joining.
Okay.
So, in that band, we have been the Patent Pending and Bowling for Soup have been great friends for years and years. We've done so many tours together, and that's basically how I ended up here with Bowling for Soup. Is when Eric left the band. It was all kind of pretty abrupt, and they were just, I guess, been filling in for them for a while, and then they just asked me, we were in England, and they asked me to join the band, and I was like, yeah.
I love that.
So you know what's interesting for me, especially like I kind of consider myself as an outside looking in kind of person, especially when it comes to rock and roll culture. The whole I guess the evolution of bands from the inception into like where they are now. So like members joining and leaving and stuff like that. What is that like for a band? You know, because I'm sure Rob was a big, I'm sorry, Rob, but I'm sure he was the person that you replaced. He was Eric. He was a big part of it because he was one of the founding members.
Yeah. So it's actually the band started in '94, and it was started by Jarrett, Chris, Eric, and Jarrett's like childhood best friend, this dude Lance, the drummer. So that a couple years, maybe like 97 or 98, he actually ended up leaving like Lance as a drummer. I mean, they were only a band for a few years. They never really left home yet. They were just playing shows around town and like starting to build a name for themselves there. And he wasn't really into the touring life. He didn't want to do that. I don't know what he does now, actually. He's a great guy, though. He's fantastic. But yeah, that's when they called up Gary, who's like, younger than them, played in another band, really great drummer. So Gary, it's been the same four guys from 1998 until...
That's crazy.
Last year or whenever it was that I jumped in, and it was so it was a little intimidating because I was put into a really pretty a lot of bands in this genre don't keep members this long. You know what I mean? Like it's really weird that bands are together this long. Like not a lot of them have the core members there. So being thrown in the mix like that it's awesome, and it's also it was a little intimidating at first. Now I'm much more comfortable with it than. Like the first show we did was Warped Tour in Dallas, and I was like, that's their home show. So I was like, I'm playing a home show, first show with these guys. Like, let's see how this goes. But everyone's been very like welcoming and accepting, and so yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. You just said, in this genre, it's not a long time that people keep the founding members? On average, like how long do you think the like average would be?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. It's
okay.
just from what I've noticed. I mean, some of my favorite bands. I mean, Blink-182. It's
yeah.
one original member right now, and they're still a fantastic band.
True.
It's
Yeah.
still an incredible lineup. But that's just kind of how it goes with this. You know, a lot of these bands like that. It's just other than like No Effects, I can't think of any other ones. It's like the same dudes for the last however many years.
When it comes to bands like that, where like so many of the members change and there might be only one or two original members, does the sound change along with it, or does the sound kind of have to stay the same in order to like keep up with what the name represents?
I guess I can just try and speak from experience. Filling in Eric's shoes, he's an incredible bass player. He's one of the best musicians I know. Really great singer. So, you know, I kind of was like, all right, I'll just kind of bring what I can do to the table and how I do it. I wasn't trying to be him or do him. So, but I mean, we grew up listening to the same types of music more or less. We basically came from the same type of background, so it wasn't something drastically different. So I guess as long as the band members, you know, fit and they all kind of are on the same page, sure, it's going to change a little bit, but it's this. I mean, for instance, Bowling for Soup, the exact same band. I didn't change anything, but maybe with a band like who I just referenced, like Blink, where they have Matt from Alkaline Trio has replaced Tom. And the new records, you can hear a little something different in there. It's like, you know, I think it has a lot to do with him being there. Just my opinion. I don't know. I don't really know those guys.
But no, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because just, again, like listening to music, no matter what kind of music it is, the music usually changes over time. It's just thinking about a whole band member, a whole person like, kind of leaving and another person replacing it kind of either accelerates that change or just puts it in a whole different ballpark than it was originally. Another question I have for you, because I remember you mentioning the tour life. What is touring like? Because a lot of the people that we interview are artists who have never toured before or just starting to tour and stuff like that. What was touring like? What was your first time touring like?
My first time touring, okay, so I was a kid. Like I was a little kid. I was like 14 years old, and it was with my first band. And we were nobody, but we just kept doing it. And I remember actually I don't remember where we were, but like an experience being a kid in a band when you're not buses and planes and stuff. It's just we were in like a minivan, and I remember just like sleeping in this van, or like just like stupid stuff like that. Like you're out there, you're a bunch of kids, and you don't have a lot of money, and it's that's kind of the start of tour life, and just we're all stupid enough to keep doing it because we just loved that from the start. So it's obviously changed over the years. That was 20 years ago. So been touring for that long with breaks in between, obviously. I've done it in a bunch of different bands. I was in a band called the Ataris for a while, and we would just tour for 10 months of a year, like just go. Depending, we had a really, really busy tour schedule at first, and it's kind of, the older you get, the less the more condensed it gets, the more it makes sense. So, and with Bowling for Soup, this has been an especially busy year for the band, but we're not out for more than 2 weeks at a time, 3 tops. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it's broken up. Like you're out for a couple weeks and you go home for a week or two, then you're out for a couple weeks. And this year's kind of been like that. Like we're doing that, then you go home for a week, and then you go play 3 shows, and you go home, and then it's just a lot of like little spurts, and then tours in between, and a lot of international traveling. So, I mean, I personally hate flying, not for the traditional reasons. I'm not gonna. No fear of it. I just don't like the fact that I have to sit in a place and I can't get out of it for a while.
Like the ADD starts to take over.
Yeah, just like, what do I do now? I watch
start staring around.
I gotta take a sequel before I had one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I bring those little gummies.
The
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect way of going about it.
Yeah, but so touring, I mean, it's just basic. With this band, we're just really close friends. I mean, every band I've been in, we've been friends, but this especially, we all just enjoy hanging out with each other and doing all of the same things together. And like, so it's basically just hanging out with your best friends. When after you've been doing it for so long, you know what I mean? Like that's what you want to be doing, right? You kind of comes full circle in a different way. When we were kids and we were doing it, it's because we were best friends and going out there, and it's this whole thing. And now we're right back to we're just out because we're best friends and we like doing it. Just different combinations, now that we're older and there's more, there's hits behind this band and stuff, So it makes a difference. That's
pretty awesome. So what's next for Bowling for Soup?
We're playing today, right? And then, October we're doing like the middle of the U.S. with it's a co-headlining tour with Less Than Jake.
Okay.
And because we did a co-headlining tour with Real Big Fish all summer, but we did like the East Coast and the West Coast, and we're filling in the middle with Less Than Jake.
Awesome.
So we covered the whole country
this
year, and then we're gonna all go home, enjoy the holidays, take a couple months off. Jarrett's gonna get some knee surgery because he's hurting. Yeah, and then we go back over to England. We're taking a Simple Plan with us in February.
Nice.
So that's what I know right now. I know there's more after that, but I keep myself 6 months out. I
6
like to know
months.
what's going on.
That's important.
Keeps you
Yeah.
sane, man.
What about any new projects you guys working on or anything like that?
We've been recording a lot in and out.
Okay.
We went and recorded in April for about a week, and then we just did it again. We were recording all in Denton, Texas, and we're recording we're doing it different. We're not putting out like a traditional album cycle and doing that whole thing. We're putting out one song a month for a year. And it's all
like
free.
that.
All on Spotify
Okay.
and Apple Music and all this Amazon, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Each stream we're just putting it out there. We're doing a lot of like covers, like songs that we grew up and loved and that we know other people like. So we're putting out like our own versions of some other songs, and then we're also doing a few originals.
Now, what was the mind like? Why that change? Why not just put out a new album or anything
Just
like
because you
that?
gotta to keep up with everything, you gotta do things different, not just for the sake of being different, but for the sake of just keeping up with it. I mean, everyone just you put in an album. I think the band has like 10 albums or something. So it's sometimes you want to do something different for you and for the sake of just making it something innovative and I've used the word different a lot, but it's just different.
keeps
The
it
band hasn't
interesting.
done this before.
Yeah.
And it's not a band that came from the streaming world. I mean, this is a band that came out when people were still listening to cassette tapes and CDs.
Yeah.
So just staying on top of it, just doing it the way it's done. I mean, a lot of people are doing singles now, so we're like, let's just try it our own way.
Was it tough for you guys to make that transition, especially seeing how much streaming or how much influence streaming has over song plays and things like that?
Yeah, it's really weird. Jarrett will say this a lot. He'll have other people in bands that broke just before Bowling for Soup, and like when Bowling for Soup's hits came out, it was like right around the time that people started like Napster and downloading music and all that stuff. So it was funny. I mean, there's platinum and gold albums, and that's not where a big majority of the money comes from. But if you had that in 1996,
You could retire right there.
you got
Absolutely.
that's how you made money then. You know what I mean? But it's just like right at that break is when it just was a different world. And so I know that there's all sorts of different things happening with like how streaming gets paid out now and what constitutes a gold and platinum certified song or album or anything. So it's all a little confusing. To be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't really have to involve myself in that stuff. I do like to know how it all works, but once you start looking at like what it actually goes into it now to like how it counts, it's not a million records were sold. That's just not what it is anymore. This was streamed 10,000 times. That counts as one sale on the chart. I don't know.
They switch up the formula for it a lot because it's always a part of contention on the part of the label side, the artist side, and then you got everything else in between because everyone has to pay, it seems, including the consumer as well.
Right. Yeah.
But,
Everything's subscription based now, which I think is great. I mean, I'm an Apple Music customer. It's great. I mean, I love it. I just listen to whatever I want when I want to do it. It's $10 a month. Like that's. I think it's gonna be in everyone's benefit. Eventually, it's still just working out the kinks in the music industry because like. The band was on Jive Records for a long time, and then they left, and then just hasn't had a need to do the label thing since then. So it's a lot of we have great management and like a great team, but we just don't deal with labels right now. I mean, it's not like F the labels. It's just there hasn't been a need to right now. No one's come to us and said, hey, we can do something better than how you're already doing it. You know. So again, it's the whole business is different than it was 20 years ago. It's an entirely different thing. You can't do it like you did then, or you'll just be stuck. Not making any forward progress.
Being in the industry for such a long time, do you see it going in? Where do you see the industry going in, say, like the next 10 to 15 years?
That's a great question. I mean, because I couldn't have said 10 or 15 years ago that it would be where it is now. You know, like, I wouldn't. I just on the side of. I mean, everyone's gonna want to see live music always. That's always gonna be a thing. Touring's always gonna happen. There's only so much you can get from watching a live video. You know what I mean? Holograms, you know, even that. I just think there's something about live music that I don't think ever is going to go away. So I think that's going to be the constant, and everything around it is just going to keep sort of changing. The way people are getting the music, the way they're being shown music in the first place. It's more accessible now than ever, but there's more options now than ever because it's more accessible. So it's not just your band was played on the radio, now you're the big thing. Like, people turn their heads pretty quick.
Especially when it comes to the radio too. That doesn't hold your attention that much, especially with the attention spans going.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Attention spans are going down. I think because there's too much output. You know what I mean? There's too much.
Everybody has an opportunity now. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, before we let you go, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for talking with us. We do appreciate that a lot. Yeah, no problem. Anytime,
Coming to our
man.
humble shed.
It's a nice soundproof shed. Yeah, that's what we try. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Where can everybody find you on social media and like Bowling for Soup?
So Bowling for Soup on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I know it's been really active on there because today actually is the 15th anniversary of the album Hangover You Don't Deserve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's our social media's been really active on that lately. Just trying to be like, hey, we had a video put together of all these bands that we've toured with over the years and friends of them, friends of mine, just sort of being like, hey, happy birthday to the album. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
And I mean that's where you find us, the same place you always would. I'm on all that stuff too. Just Rob Pending. That's my
I love
Twitter and Instagram name.
Rob Pending. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I just kept it. I like the name.
Yeah, that's dope.
I like it. The final question before we let you get out of here, we ask this question to all of our guests at the very end of every episode. Being someone that's been in this for so long, what's your definition of success?
Being happy.
Being happy?
You know what I mean? Being satisfied. And saying, having something that you're proud of. I think that's it, right? Is that a good answer?
No, it's yours, man.
It's yours.
I don't know, that's what I feel. I feel I in a not arrogant way, I'd say, successful. I did it. I think I accomplished more than I really realistically thought I would have when I set out to say I'm gonna play music someday. Like now it's like I'm doing it. It's my job and I love it.
Damn, man.
I love it. I love it.
Damn, man. Well, everyone, that is our interview. Thank you, Rob, for coming through again.
Thank you, guys.
As always, everyone, this episode has been brought to you by Millship Entertainment and the Big E. I'm Brad.
I'm Devin.
And this is it.